I love Star Wars, and I definitely love Star Wars video games. I've been a scoundrel in the Jedi Knight games, relived classic space fights in Rogue Squadron, and embraced both the light and dark sides in Knights of the Old Republic. Hell, I've even played Yoda stories. But there is one beloved Star Wars title that has eluded me. A different take on the Star Wars shooter that focused on squad tactics and told a unique story within the prequel saga. Recently, that title was re-released on modern consoles, and since I can never turn down the chance to have a good blaster at my side, I figured it was a great excuse to return to the galaxy far, far away. What's up, everybody? I'm Kirk, and today we are suiting up for Star Wars Republic Commando for the PlayStation 4. But before all that, please be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for more videos about games where you always get to shoot first. Alrighty, let's begin. Republic Commando originally released for the Xbox back in 2005 and was developed and published by Lucasarts, back before the dark times, before the Empire. This current version, though, was published by Aspyr, who has been handling many of the recent classic Star Wars game releases. Set during the Clone Wars, you command an elite group of Clone Commandos, Delta Squad, who carry out secret missions for the Galactic Republic. Think of it like Rainbow Six meets Star Wars, as the game revolves around giving orders to your squad mates and taking out enemies with tactics. Although there's still some room to let loose with a blaster. This is a Star Wars game after all.
Target eliminated.
The game begins with your commando being raised in the cloning facility on Kamino, starting with birth in a tank to schooling as a child, and eventually suiting up as a ready and eager soldier of the Republic. The game puts emphasis on immersing you into the role of your clone commando, as the entirety of the game is experienced through his eyes. This was a common thing to see in mid-2000s shooters, but unique for a Star Wars game, as they tend to bring in a lot of cinematic flair to emulate the films. It benefits the game though. You really do feel like you're in the armor of a clone trooper, playing out their own small parts in the Great Clone War.
You hear that, Sev? Someone thinks I'm excellent.
Well, at least that makes two of you.
While the game never goes in depth into your squad mates, it does a good job of characterizing them. They each have their own distinct personalities, like Sev, the gruff and tough one, always looking for a fight, and Scorch, who's a little more on the goofy side.
Good job.
That was for Delta 23! Or was that 32?
Republic Commando features 3 missions that take place at key points of the Clone Wars, starting with the Battle of Geonosis and leading up to the invasion of Kashyyyk in Episode 3. 3 missions doesn't sound like a lot. And well, it isn't. But to the game's credit, they are lengthy and feature their own self-contained plots that develop throughout the gameplay. In a way, they kind of feel like episodes of a TV miniseries. The second mission is the best example of this. What begins as investigating a missing Republic ship turns into a spooky mystery about the disappearance of the crew. Soon, however, your clone brothers begin to drop off one by one.
Delta 6-2, can you hear me? Report.
Get off me, you throwing bag of bolts!
6-2.
Eventually, you discover the ship has been taken over by mercenaries, and what starts as a slow-build mystery turns into a skirmish to rescue your brothers and fight to take the ship back. It had a similar vibe to Han, Luke, Leia, and Chewie trying to escape the Death Star in A New Hope, complete with a daring escape from a detention center.
Let's go, squad, down the hatch!
I'll hit him first.
It all feels authentically Star Wars, which is probably the highest compliment I can give to this game.
Target area is near.
Let's form up.
The overall bummer of the narrative is that it goes unfulfilled, as the game ends on a pretty brutal cliffhanger. Okay, maybe it's a little much to say it's a brutal cliffhanger. I mean, most Star Wars fans know what happened at the end of the Clone Wars, but the game really does end right when things start to get real interesting. It's a shame. There was a sequel planned and in early development that would have wrapped this story up, called Star Wars Imperial Commando. Ho-ho! But it was sadly cancelled. Although the story was wrapped up in a Republic Commando book series, and Delta Squad did make an appearance in the Clone Wars TV show. And of course, I have to mention that Disney is about to release a new Clone Wars spin-off series, The Bad Batch, which is about a group of elite clone commandos. So the concept at least lives on in some form. Even still, it is unfortunate that Republic Commando's otherwise awesome campaign ends on such an unfulfilling note. Something to keep in mind is that this new release isn't a remaster. As far as I can tell, it's a port of the PC version of the game. Nothing has really been improved here other than the standard upgrades. The game runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and is now in widescreen. However, despite the bare bones port job, visually I do think Republic Commando has aged rather nicely. Character models still look great all around. The design of your squad mates is striking with their glowing helmets and painted colors to distinguish them, and enemies, like the droids, look authentic to their movie versions. In fact, if you pay attention, you can notice some fun death animations, like shooting the heads off of battle droids and watching them shoot in the air confused. Environments still hold up as well. Sure, they might look more simplistic, but you can't deny the attention to detail to make them feel like the locations they're based on. One of the standout features of this game is your HUD, which simulates the inside of your commando's helmet, with awesome details like cracks from damage, rain droplets, or the splatter of guts and droid oil, all conveniently wiped away by your laser wiper. It's pretty neat. Republic Commando wasn't the first game to do something like this, but its inclusion really does make the experience more immersive. Although if it's not your jam, you do have the option to turn it off.
Weapon ready.
4 seconds.
In terms of audio, Republic Commando hits the high standards set by its franchise. Sound effects are fantastic as expected. Zooming blaster fire, the mechanical clicks of droid antagonists, and your own squad chatter. It does a great job of making you feel like you're in a Star Wars battle zone. The only thing that bugged me is that the super battle droids sound like they've smoked a pack a day since they were 12. The voice acting of your squad mates is also strong, with Temuera Jango Fett Morrison returning to voice Squad Leader 3-8. Although it would have been cool if Morrison voiced all of Delta Squad in a similar way to how D. Bradley Baker voiced all of the clones in the Clone Wars TV series. But that's just me getting picky.
Delta Squad, let's take it down from here.
Let me show you real marksmanship.
And of course, the game's soundtrack is incredible, featuring many of the classic John Williams themes. No matter how old I get, this music still makes me feel like a kid. But there's also new original music in the game too that features a backing choir, which sounds pretty damn good.
Clear.
Gameplay-wise, Republic Commando is a balanced mix of tactics and shooting. Giving orders to your squad is simple and contextual. Just point at the specific position with the corresponding order and press the use button. That's it. Sniper positions, heavy weapons, grenade cover, turrets, explosives disposal, and of course, breach and clear. Just point and press. And if you want to cancel or recall, just point and press again. It's an elegant and very approachable system, clearly designed for easy control on a gamepad.
Break out the heavy weapons, Delta.
My favorite, sir.
When I got the hang of it, it was satisfying positioning my team for a swift, efficient attack or a rock-solid defense. And while Republic Commando does lean on the easy side, if you rush into situations or ignore ordering your squad and try to lone wolf it, the game will punish you accordingly.
Squad leader's been hit.
Squad AI is good about following orders, and your team is effective in combat. In fact, whenever there was something like a turret in the battlefield, I was more comfortable having a squad mate man it than myself. And if I felt like handling an objective personally, I wasn't too nervous about having my squad mates cover me. Most of the time. Squad AI is good, it's not perfect. At times they failed to attack outright or put themselves in harm's way, which was frustrating. However, these moments were not common enough to really hurt the game. Enemy AI trends similar. Baddies will get the best of you if you're not careful, but they can be knuckleheads. Sometimes you'll breach a room and find an enemy just standing around looking in the other direction, totally oblivious to you. Once again, not common enough to really hurt the game, but something to note. Each of the missions are broken up into multiple parts, separated by loading screens. Each part revolves around a sole objective that will test your tactical proficiency. Stuff like protecting cargo in a shuttle bay, holding off droid assaults, or good old-fashioned blowing stuff up.
Clear!
But the game is excellent about keeping things varied, typically through creative level design, and giving the player multiple options for how they want to tackle any given situation. But what I also appreciated was how the game finds ways to challenge the player by taking options away. One such objective involves dropping off your squad mates one by one to a series of turrets. The idea being, as you go through the level, you have less of a squad to work with, and the combat situations get progressively more hairy. There's even a few sections where you're separated from your squad and have to go at it alone. clone, which I didn't mind. I thought they were a nice change of pace, and they don't overstay their welcome.
Good one, sir.
Since you play as a squad of elites, your equipment is a little more advanced compared to the typical clone trooper. The clone's main weapon is the DC-17M interchangeable weapon system, which is able to configure into several weapon types: a standard blaster rifle, sniper, and grenade launcher. And in case you run out of ammo, a side pistol, which you wouldn't choose to use unless you were out of ammo. You also have a miscellaneous weapon slot where you can carry a variety of weapons picked up from your enemies: machine guns in the light and heavy variety, a missile launcher, and shotgun. All of these are powerful, but not as proficient as your main clone weapon, and it wouldn't be a tactical shooter without some tactical throwables. Classic thermal detonators are here, accompanied by flash bombs and electrical grenades, which your squad is great about throwing out when breaching doors.
Mission pick 'em up. We're in, Delta. Look at the pulse down.
The shooting is okay. This is one area of the gameplay that shows the most age. As cool as the weapons are, they don't feel impactful or powerful. There's a lack of oomph, as I like to call it, made more noticeable as enemies don't really react to getting shot, something that always irks me in shooters. In fact, many of the enemies can absorb quite a lot of damage before going down. They're pretty spongy. You can order your squad to focus fire on a single enemy, which does help, but if anything, enemy sponginess encourages players to focus on weak points, like headshots, obviously. But a more clear example of this are the super battle droids. These guys take a ton to put down, but their armor can be blown off to reveal their vulnerable circuitry underneath, which if focused on can take them down quicker. This is a Star Wars game that favors precision, which is cool, but focusing on weak points is easier said than done. A lot of the enemies move rapidly, and combat at times felt like a slow uphill battle, as I was burning through ammo to seemingly little effect. The sniper will become your best friend in this game, as it's best suited to exploit these weaknesses and packs way more of a punch than the standard blaster. However, its slow rate of fire makes it not the most satisfying weapon to use on the regular. Aiming also took a little getting used to. The aim acceleration in this game is on the strong side, and other than changing the overall sensitivity, there's no way to fine-tune it. Not horrible, but it made my initial gameplay sessions a little frustrating. Also, the crosshair for the standard blaster is oddly big, and isn't really representative of the accuracy of your weapon. Initially, I assumed the crosshair represented my weapon spread, where if you're moving, the spread would be wider, and if stopped or moving more slowly, it would be more narrow. However, this was not the case. No matter how much I moved, shots always hit the center of that big circle. Perhaps this was done to encourage players to aim down the sights, which I did eventually start doing and found it to be more effective, but I just thought this was an odd choice all around and felt arbitrary. One issue I had with the game, which might seem like a nitpick but really was a problem for me, is that in several sections of the game, the level will shake, typically from the explosions of a nearby battle. Now, it's one thing to shake the screen because of this, it's another to totally jostle and sabotage the player's aim. Seriously, it's like someone grabbed my controller and started shaking it. This was so irritating to me. In fact, I would say this is a huge no-no for a first-person shooter, unless it's for a specific story reason or from an enemy attack that the player can anticipate. Also, there are some enemy types that are just straight up bullshit. In particular, the scavenger droids. These things can lock onto you with a beam that can zap your health in a matter of seconds. They're hard to hit, and having multiple of them is likely a death sentence. Plus, when you kill them, they rocket right to you and explode, which is obnoxious. Sometimes they'll try to impersonate a facehugger, which is actually the best case scenario, as they'll drain your health slower and all you need to do is button mash to kill them. These things pester you throughout the game, and every time they showed up, whatever fun I was having would be instantly sapped.
I really hate those scavs.
Now, to be fair, the longer I played the game and got a better sense of how the enemies tick, when I eventually hit the late game stages, the combat really started to click, and I found myself having a lot of fun, and the tight squad mechanics did help me forgive some of the downsides in the shooting. Indeed, age has made this one a little rocky, but this was still a fun Star Wars adventure nonetheless. I would recommend this game in the same way I would recommend Dark Forces and the Jedi Knight follow-ups. Sure, they're old and a little rough around the edges, and probably not going to satisfy the more casual modern gamer. But the way these games use the Star Wars license to create a unique experience is something every hardcore Star Wars gaming fan should check out. This is a cool game, and I hope someone in the future gives it a more thorough remaster treatment. Or perhaps I could even dream for a sequel, as unlikely as that seems to be. And if there isn't a fan remake already in the works for this game, there damn well should be. Please be sure to let me know in the comments your thoughts on Star Wars Republic Commando. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and ring the bell to be notified for future videos. And check out the Kirk Collects Discord linked in the description below. I'm Kirk, and thank you for watching this video. Stay safe out there.